All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're jumping into The Lean Startup by Eric Ries. It's a book that's all about one really powerful mission, to stop people from building things that nobody actually wants. I mean, this has gotta be the biggest fear for any entrepreneur, any creator, really. You spend months, maybe even years, pouring your soul into an idea. You finally launch it and crickets. Nobody cares. And that exact heartbreaking problem is what the lean startup methodology was designed to prevent. So to really get what the lean startup is all about, we first have to tackle and, let's be honest, tear down the old, romantic, and frankly pretty dangerous myth of how great ideas are supposed to become great businesses. You know, the old myth is so tempting, right? It says success comes from some lone genius with a perfect vision. And if you fail, well, you just didn't have the right stuff. The lean startup completely flips that on its head. It argues that success isn't about having a perfect plan from day one. It's about having a rigorous process to discover what actually works. To really see why that process is so vital, let's dive into the real-world story of a company called IMVU, a place where these lessons were learned the hard way. So back in 2004, the team at IMVU had this huge vision. And their strategy? It seemed brilliant on paper. Instead of trying to build a whole new social network from scratch, they just create this cool add-on for existing platforms like AIM. Every time someone used it, it would basically be an ad for their friends to join. They thought this is it, a guaranteed recipe for viral growth. So with that plan in hand, the team went into this insane 6-month crunch mode. You can just imagine it, right? Intense, around-the-clock coding, just struggling to get their first product out the door. They were running on hope, but also this deep fear of shipping something that wasn't perfect. Still, they kept pushing, totally determined to hit that deadline. And then, launch day. The product technically worked flawlessly, but there was just one tiny little problem. Customers absolutely hated it. They did not want to spam their friends with invites to some random product they hadn't even really tried yet. The entire strategy, their core assumption, was completely wrong. 6 months of work, just down the drain. So how on earth do you avoid a disaster like that? Is the answer a better plan, a smarter founder? Nope. The answer is a powerful continuous cycle of feedback.
And this brings us to the absolute heart of the whole book. Validated learning. Look, in a startup, just being busy doesn't mean you're making progress. Building a bunch of features, that's not progress either. Real progress is learning, with hard data, what your customers truly want. It's about learning what to build in the first place.
And the engine that powers all this learning is the build, measure, learn loop. It's so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. First, you build a small experiment, just enough to test an assumption. Then you measure how customers actually react, using real data, not just your gut feeling. And finally, you learn from that data to make a decision. Do we keep going down this path, or is it time to pivot? Think about it like this. Your startup is a car. The build, measure, learn loop, that's the engine. It's what makes the whole thing go. But what good is an engine without someone driving? That's you. You're the one steering the car based on the road ahead, which is your customer feedback. The engine provides the power, but you provide the direction. You absolutely need both to get anywhere. Okay, so this loop sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? Let's get into the two most important tools in the Lean Startup Toolbox, MVPs and pivots. First up, the big one, the one you've probably heard of, the minimum viable product, or MVP. Now here's what so many people get wrong. The goal of an MVP is not just a smaller, less polished version of your final product. Its real purpose is to be the fastest, cheapest way to kickstart that build, measure, learn loop and start finding out what customers really care about. And you know, some of the biggest companies out there started with ridiculously simple MVPs. The founder of Zappos literally just went to local shoe stores, took pictures of shoes, and put them online. Dropbox, it was just a simple demo video that made their sign-up list explode. And Groupon started as, in the founder's own words, a totally ghetto WordPress blog. The point is to start simple and start learning fast. All right, so what happens when your amazing MVP proves that your big idea is, well, wrong? That's when you pivot. And a pivot isn't giving up. It's not a sign of failure. It's actually a super brave strategic decision to apply what you've just learned. It's a structured course correction, not just taking another random guess. Let's jump back to IMVU because their pivot was huge. They learned this incredible thing. Customers didn't want to use these 3D avatars with their existing friends. They wanted to meet new people. So they threw out the whole add-on idea and built a standalone network. They added a new feature called Chat Now to connect random strangers, and all of a sudden, people were hooked. That pivot literally saved the company. All right, in our final section here, let's zoom out a bit and see how these ideas have really exploded from just a startup thing into a full-blown global movement. I mean, this stuff isn't just for a couple of people coding in a garage anymore. The lean startup is a global movement. You've got entrepreneurs using it in over 100 cities, huge corporations like Intuit have adopted it, and it's even being used in places you'd never expect, like the Pentagon. It's really become a universal methodology for building new things when you're facing extreme uncertainty. So, what's the ultimate takeaway from all of this? Here it is. In the world we live in now, winning isn't about having the best idea or the most funding. The real winner is the one who can learn the fastest. The most important question a founder can ask isn't, can this product be built? It's, should this product be built? And the lean startup gives you the tools to actually find that answer.